writer or speaker per se, but I want to do my Koda Origins in a video form. Some might call that a vlog per se. 5 years ago, a friend of mine, Carmen Ham, told me about this thing called CrossFit. So I looked up the CrossFit and I found CrossFit OKC. That was the only CrossFit at the time, and it happened to be about 1.5 miles from my house. So I said, well, this might be about right for me. So got super nervous, like everybody else. Drove by there a couple of times. Finally called somebody, and I started doing some one-on-one classes. After about 4 one-on-one classes, I jumped into my first class, and my first class had clusters in it, so a clean into a thruster. And I remember that Ryan Fiddle and Ryan Wilkinson were there, and Ed Wynn. So they kind of became my first little CrossFit family. Second workout was Murph, so that's a pretty good time for my second workout. Kick ahead about 6 months, there's this balding Air Force guy that walks in the gym. He seemed to be in pretty good shape. You guys might know him as Bryce. Remember the first work I saw him do was Helen, and he went off. I felt like he went off a little aggressive on his very first 400-meter run. And I remember the last round of Helen took him as long as his first 2 rounds combined. So I went from being one of the better CrossFitters at the gym, and then Bryce walks in, and then I fall down a few pegs. Also remember him trying to do double unders, so I felt like after watching that, he wasn't quite as badass as I thought that he was. We kick ahead, we start doing some outside events. Bryce and I start kind of coordinating some runs and some parties, and then we decided to do Cupid's Revenge. And we feel like that went pretty well. Bryce and Trent and I, we ran that one with some help with Maya in the background. After that, Bryce and I started talking about maybe opening up a gym together. But at the exact same time we started talking about this, he was about to be shipped out to Afghanistan. I remember we went to Zen, Maya and I and Bryce, and we decided if we're really going to do this, we're going to do it. And so Bryce decided to stay an extra 6 months in Afghanistan so he could pick the spot where he wanted to be when he came back. So we picked Oklahoma City, stayed there for a full year, and we were going to start when he got back. That summer was one of the hottest summers I remember, and I was still working in my lawn care business, and I kept calling Bryce, and we would email, we would call. He's in Afghanistan, I'm here, and I would just say, I was talking about how miserable that I am in this heat, and he's in Afghanistan in the war. A little bit hotter than me, and probably a little bit more miserable. So we decided to go ahead and bump up about 6 months and start opening up the gym at that moment. So once we decided to open up the gym, I had to start thinking about a name. And I thought I wanted to go with something a little different than everybody else. So I started looking at Native American names. And I found this one, Koda. And I looked at it and it said friendship was the meaning of it. I kind of like the way Koda CrossFit sounded. And we were 2 friends starting this, and we wanted our gym to be about friends getting together, so it turned into a perfect name for us. So we skip ahead, December 1st. My Hong Muse, Camille Porter, and I open up the gym and have our first little workout. The official gym opening was December 15th, and I remember for about the first month, every morning, it was Chan and I opening the gym together, just us 2 working out. Sometimes Jazz Dog would show up, and then Charles T started coming, so that became the workout crew. Every morning at 6 o'clock. Charles T, Jazz Dog, and Chan. So it made it pretty easy for me to get up every morning. So in the last 2 years, we've grown from a 2,000 square foot facility to a 4,000 square foot facility, and now we're in a 6,000 square foot facility. We have 250 members at Koda CrossFit, over 150 members at Koda CrossFit Norman. And with the growth that we've been having, we've decided maybe it's time to expand. So last month we signed a lease to have a new building being built for us. It's going to be 12,000 square feet. It's going to have showers. It's going to have locker rooms, and it's not really very far from where we are now. Matter of fact, It's going to be right here. So hopefully next spring, this will be the new location of Koda CrossFit.
Everything will